Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Chase. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ES. Okay, so Bitcoin took a short today at 38.4K. I posted the reasoning and all that way ahead of time. If you took it with me, good so far. We haven't reached take profit yet, though, so no premature celebration, but a good response nonetheless. It's what you like to see, a good response from your level. Okay, just saw it like this, right? Look at these monthly closes. Look at the monthly support here, and this is where we saw our rejection to make the major move down. We come back up, perfectly clean. We go to the weekly. You can see that this is also where the weekly inefficiency mostly ended, right? So all this price action here, just very inefficient. We move through it quickly on both sides, okay? So that's pretty much the reasoning for that. If you wanted more in depth, you could also say that this was sort of like your origin of impulse upwards, comes down, finds support, breaks through. Okay, perfect test there as well. But you don't even need to do that, right? I just went with the monthly level. That's literally right where my entry is, 38.4. Okay, so that's the monthly level. And the target for this is just into this inefficiency here. So just targeting below 34K. We'll see what happens in here. Could come down, could get into there, could come back up, could sweep it again into there, could stop out. I mean, there's a number of things that could happen, right? But overall, what I'm looking for is this area to serve as a bit of a fake out, come back in, and then I'm not sure from there. But ultimately, that's the trade from 38.4 to this inefficiency down here. Fair value gap, inefficiency, whatever you want to say. Liquidity resting below here. There's a lot. Okay. I think that's a logical trade. I blind shorted it, just limit entry. I didn't think that it was necessary to see any type of. I didn't really need to see any action or anything. Take a sip of water. It's a monthly level. We've been lagging and lagging and lagging, and in my opinion, it's time to cool down a little bit. My thought process was sort of helped when I saw that they did the ETF announcement today. Combo that with all the the crazy euphoria that was on the feed. I did feel like I was on the right side of things against the herd. Not trying to counter trend strictly because of sentiment here, but in my opinion, the chart had us going directly into monthly resistance, and I never saw the feed more bullish. So, just got to take the trade. That's it. Okay, so 38.4 targeting below 34K. ETH we could look at. ETH, let's start on the weekly. So this is where ETH broke down on the weekly. We could see, support, support, support. Finally tests here, breaks down. Okay, comes up, deviates. Take off the thing. Comes up, deviates again. You can see these weekly closes respecting the level pretty well. I would say, this is sort of, your breakdown combined with here. You're potentially sweeping liquidity today on the ETH ETF announcement. I think it was more of a liquidity grab. I don't think it's really... it's just, I'm not seeing it. I think it's more of just a... I think euphoria was peaking today, and this was a part of it. What I will say, okay, so what you're doing is you're sweeping liquidity here into resistance, right? But what I will say is that, and if it goes through, then it goes through, right? But I think that a retest of the 19s would make sense and potentially hold, even if Bitcoin, let's say, gets to 34. Maybe ETH doesn't go too much lower than like here-ish or something. Maybe it fakes out a little bit, reclaims the level, and then that's when you start moving up on ETH into, let's say, like around here, which would be about like 2300-ish. So I guess that's my plan for ETH. To be honest, ETH price action has not been clean at all lately. I usually say it's cleaner than BTC. But lately it is just god-awful in my opinion, so I haven't been paying attention to it much. But nonetheless, ETF announcement today for ETH. I don't even think it's like matters because we haven't even gotten the BTC one approved lately. We haven't even got the BTC one approved yet. The ETH one's going to be a far ways out. I think this was overdue for ETH to print a nice big candle. I think it did here. Took some liquidity. I think people buying in here most likely get put underwater, right? We flush them out, and that's when, like I said, a little deviation below here or something, and that's when ETH really starts to move. That's what I'll be looking for on Ethereum. ES, okay, just remove everything. So ES came down, took liquidity, just insanely clean, huge candle here, pretty crazy. I would say that, this liquidity at the minimum. So what we're looking for, we go down to a lower time frame. We're on the daily. Let's go down to the 4-hour. This probably fills. Although you can use it as a like a trigger, right? So what I think probably happens here is ES comes down, deviates below this level, taking liquidity potentially into here. If it does start going lower, then the next level I start looking at is around here. Yeah, something along these lines. Reclaim, go for this liquidity, deviate up here, and then down to here. Something of that nature. If it does come all the way down into here, still think it should be okay. Let's line up a fib and see where we're at. Yeah, that would make sense. Equilibrium 618. Possibly even going a little lower, like into here, and then go for liquidity. And yeah, that's ES in a nutshell. So one way or another, I'm looking for this liquidity to be taken. We can see it on the daily and the weekly. If you look at it on the weekly, you can see that you have a big fair value gap in here. Big fair value gap. Sorry, a bird's chirping in the background, or a crow or something. Big fair value gap, liquidity resting above. Even if you took a weekly level like this and you had your sweep down here, we go down to a lower time frame. Yeah, something like that makes sense. So either we look for a sweep into here, play it down into here where the liquidity is resting. You can do TP2 down here, and if it comes down first, whether it be deviation of level sweep, or it comes down into here first, right? And then you play that back up to the liquidity. It really, I've taught you guys this in every video. It depends what targets are left. So we want to have targets. In order for me to take an entry, I need to have a target. It's one of the reasons why the BTC trade was pretty clear to me, because I think, okay, well, low here, that's a clear target to me. Liquidity resting below there, inefficiency in there, fair value gap in there, whatever you want to say. And I see clear targets here as well, in here, and here. Okay, so we take what comes first and we play it off of it. If you're looking for a higher confidence, then I would say just, don't diddle in the middle. This is where it requires more experience to execute. But from here and from here, you should be able to find something decent either way, even if you're not, a great trader, so to say. In the middle here is where things are going to be tougher. Do you deviate? Do you reclaim? Do you have an entry technique to get in? Things of that nature. Okay? Outside of that, just, it's the usual. Today was obviously a very euphoric day. We'll see what happens, right? If Bitcoin, just blasts through here and it's working all the way up into here, I really wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't be shorting anymore. Do I think it's a full-fledged bull market at that point? I don't know. I don't really see it. But, there's going to be times where you see stuff and there's going to be some times where you don't see stuff. Up here, There was plenty of people calling for 100,000, 250,000, and I was 100% certain that this was the top, or literally like 95% certain, because that's how much spot I sold up here, 90 to 95% of my holdings. So I was so certain that this was the top to that degree, and there was some people that's so certain that it was going higher. And there's some people here that are so certain that this is the start of the new bull market. And, it's just not me at the moment. If, like I said, if it keeps lagging, perhaps I'll change my tune. But, I mean, the spot ETF's already been approved in, Canada has one, Europe has one, and it's not like it even brought in a lot of demand. I don't think the US one is going to make a huge difference. I think that this move right here is the ETF being priced in completely. That's something I said recently. If we do get the announcement, maybe you get one more pop to like sweep this again. And it doesn't mean we're going back down to 10 or anything. It just means that I think, from here, it might turn into more of a ranging market for a little while. And we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I guess that's my take on it at the moment. I'm trying to stay level-headed amidst the feed is just, it's awful. It's the worst I've ever seen it, I'll just put it that way. If you're trading right now, probably just, you don't really need Twitter too much unless you're like scouting for altcoins and stuff. Just take a break. It's just a bunch of people fucking fighting about different directions, and everyone's saying, someone's just tweeting all caps, send everything higher. The other person's tweeting all caps that we're going to zero. The whole thing's just fucking idiotic. No one's posting any entries. It's just all hindsight, garbage. That's my thoughts on it at the moment. Shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring these videos. You can sign up with my links at the bottom of the screen here. I greatly appreciate it. If you appreciate my content, signing up there keeps these videos coming. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Talk soon.